of you. With the result declared, we have got a new enthusiasm of beginning with our preparation that was somewhere lumped down because of the pandemic and lockdown and the uncertainty that was looming large. In my continuation of coverage of Yojana and Kurukshetra, today I want to take up the article that has appeared in the August 2020 of Yojana. So the entire magazine is devoted to culture and architecture. There is a write-up that is there in the magazine which talks about the territorial security India-China relation. This topic is very significant, not just from the perspective of the present standoff that we are noticing between these two titans, but also from the perspective of general studies. International relations are very important topic of your syllabus, and also for geography optional, where there is geopolitical relation of India with her neighbors. From all these perspectives, this particular write-up is not just giving me that contemporary edge, but somewhere has got its basis that can be traced back to pre-colonial time altogether. We want to take the brief understanding of what exactly is the nature of territorial dispute between these two neighbors with support of certain dikes. So going to Yojana, August 2020. The territorial security, India-China relation actually correlates to some 3,488 kilometers of the land frontier that is shared between the two neighbors. And this land frontier, as you can see in this image, is basically divided into three segments. And these segments or sectors, as per their location, is demarcated as Western sector, Central sector, and Eastern sector. And precisely in all these sectors, the two neighbors has got the territorial disputes that are correlated, and each of these has got their challenges that is reflecting in the geopolitical vulnerability of this area and also these two countries. This article of Yojana marks up its beginning with this statement that territorial security has been a contentious issue between India and China, and actually it is basically correlated with the fact that both India and China has inherited the undefined boundaries from the British Raj and the dynasties that have been correlated with China. The Qing dynasty has been mentioned. And whether we take up the reference of the development thereby, it is the successive leadership. The territorial limits have neither been defined, delineated, or demarcated, posing concern or even conflict between the two countries. So there is nothing wrong for us to take into reference that this is basically the legacy of the politico-historical perspective that these two neighbors are reeling under. China has been making extended claims to the territories far and wide, and reflects an expansionist mindset and the pressure of nationalism at home. This is also impacting on China's forays into the line of actual control areas with India, as reflected in the border incidents of Depsang Plain, Chumar, Doklam crisis, and the recent incidents in the western sector. We are talking about Galwan Valley as well as. So there are many examples that have been correlated with what is strongly identified as Chinese aggressive mindset, which is not just trying to reflects itself in terms of just showing its capacity, but also actually intruding into the territories which is either integral part of Indian Union or still to be resolved between. If we see the territorial disputes in Himalayas, it will give us an overview of what exactly is the nature of tussle between the two neighbors that we are willing to take. Each of the block is important here and we can easily demarcate them. Territorial disputes in Himalayas correlate to Pakistan occupied Kashmir that you can easily notice at this block, which is not our concern right now. The Kashmir area ceded by Pakistan to China, as you can see in this red color in this northern part of Ladakh Union territory of our country now, is called Saksagam Valley. It approximately measures 5,000 square kilometers that has been ceded by Pakistan to China. And then this entire area in which I am dotting with the red dots is considered to be the Aksai Chin, and Aksai Chin area is basically measuring some 35,000 square kilometers, and it is ceded by China as its own territory. Apart from it, we have got the territories that is correlated with Indian Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. These disputed areas is considered to be what is referred as central section, and then we have got the eastern section that correlates with the disputed tip in the northern part of Sikkim, as you can see it here. This is the Doklam Plateau of Bhutan that has been one of the regions of the standoff between India and China in the recent past. Tawang has always been the contentious zone in Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh, not just related to 1962 intrusion, but also as this area is the birthplace of the Dalai Lama and cultural proximity is claimed by China. And we all are aware of the fact that McMahon line is not considered to be the border by China at all. Complete territory of Arunachal Pradesh, Indian state, is being claimed by China as its own. So slight enlargement can be noticed here when we try to demarcate the territorial dispute into the three sections. And which are these three sections? Western, Central, and Eastern. And how do I correlate them with each other? It is with Indian Union territories of Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir. It is Indian states of Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and it is Indian states of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. That is how we can demarcate Western, Central, and Eastern areas respectively. And if I have to take the enlargement of these areas, the entire border from Karakoram range to Arunachal Pradesh spanned over 3488 kilometers. Only a few parts of the border remain contentious. These include 8 areas in 1680 kilometers long western sector. In the western sector, we are taking up dominant 8 areas that is related to the tussle between the two neighbors. And these areas include western sector, Pangong So, Trig Heights, Sambar Lungpa, Demchok, Chushul, Debsang Bulge. And in the last decade, Chumar in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand border. So when I take Chumar and in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand border, I have actually taken up the changeover to central sector. And in regards to Chumar 3, Chumar is considered to be an extended claim area as Chinese never raised this dispute. And that also goes with Galwan area that has not been mentioned in the above areas of contentions. Both in 1962 and now, that region have become contentious and voiced. It is somewhere showing a strong aggression that China is possessing towards the territorial enlargement. See these areas before we go to the middle section and try to make sense with the location that are correlated with it. In the western sector with 1680 kilometers, the important areas where we are noticing the flashpoint or where there has been the tussle between the two neighbors, it incorporates, as mentioned in our Yojana also, you can easily notice the regions in Ladakh territory right here. You have got the region that is correlated as Demchok, Trig Heights, Dumchele, Pangong So, Chumar, and Sapangur Gap, western sector. These are considered to be the disputed and sensitive areas along unresolved LAC, witnessing aggressive patrolling and face-off between troops from both. And in Ladakh region, it is incorporating these important blocks. Before I take you to Yojana, in the middle sector that approximately incorporate 445 kilometers of area, you have got Korik, Shipkila in Himachal Pradesh, Barahoti, Ulan Sunda, and Niang Jadang in Uttarakhand. And mind it, these areas incorporate their location south of water divide. Montane international boundaries have got this by default logic that the areas that falls on the opposite side of water divide will not be considered to be the territory of the concerned state. So if I am located south of water divide, I cannot be the territory of. And in the eastern sector, Eastern sector, which incorporate approximate length of some 1126 kilometers. You are having important areas of disputes that incorporate the names you can see here. It's Namkha Chu, Sumdorong Chu, Esafila, Longju, Dichu, Yangtze, and Fishtail 1 and 2 in Dibang Valley. All these places are in Arunachal. However, in the eastern sector, we must take into consideration the additional areas of tussle which we have noticed in the recent past. We have noticed it. It's the disputed tip in the northern Sikkim and Doklam Plateau. So it is not just related to McMahon line or Arunachal Pradesh for that matter. I can easily correlate it to this tip, that is tri-junction that we see between Bhutan, China and India at Doklam, as well as the Sikkim northern tip that is claimed by China. The middle sector, which spans to 545 kilometers, has three areas in dispute: Barahoti, Coril and Shipkila. It is, however, less contentious, and in fact, an informal agreement exists between two countries for this. The eastern sector, with 1126 kilometers, has six areas of dispute: Longju, Asafila, Namkachu, Samdurongchu, Changse, and Mityun. India has always emphasized on McMahon line in this sector, while Chinese side have asked for concessions in Tawang sector based on religious region of being 16th century Dalai Lama's birth. I've already mentioned. So there has been a very important concessions that have been asked by China in this region, which is one of the reasons of the tension between the two neighbors. And if I continue with Yojana, also like Galwan region, Sikkim region has been place of some violent clashes. We have noticed that. So the reason that I say as a territorial security between the two neighbors creating certain sort of challenge is yet to resolve the border disputes. But this doesn't say all. You have to take the reference as another feature that possibly explain the incapacity in resolving the territorial dispute is the bilateral equation. This is very important, which are also influenced by geopolitics. Like in Western sector, it is more contentious as these borders of Afghanistan and Pakistan, and China has all-weather friendship with Pakistan. Another dimension of territorial security between India and China is principles of resolving the dispute. Very important. There is wide discrepancy. India has argued for fair and reasonable, mutually acceptable solution. Also for India, lasting territorial security connotes mutual and equal security region for each partner for the dispute. China, on the other hand, has suggested mutual understanding and mutual accommodation as its priority, which is not acceptable. I want to put it like this. The reasons of territorial disputes is not just related to the historical legacy, it is also correlated to the bilateral equations that China specifically have with countries like Pakistan. It is also correlated to territorial aggressive nature that China is showing, both from the perspective of historical and cultural grounds. And very important thing that is mentioned in Yojana and must not be missed out when we are taking the revision of the factor, must not be missed out when we are taking the revision of the factor is the dimension is basically related to differences in the principles followed on by the two countries to resolve the challenge. Because India essentially believes in, and I'm taking it absolutely from the perspective of a Yojana. Yojana very clearly says that India always have argued for fair, reasonable, and mutually accepted approach. This is Indian stand. And what is Chinese stand in this regard? It has always been mutual understanding and mutual accommodation, which India has completely ignored. So the reasons for territorial disputes that India-China incorporate is not just related to the historical legacy, it is also with bilateral equations, the territorial aggressive nature that China is showing and differences in the principles to resolve. And we certainly should not conclude out this without mentioning that the recent example of the standoff, whether it is incorporating Pangong Tso, Galwan Valley, or the region that correlates with Daulat Beg Oldie, I hope you are aware of the fact that India has completed the construction of road that connects Leh to Murgo, proximate to Daulat Beg Old. And that revival of Indian economic political fact, that is Genesis, recommissioning of the airfield in year 2008 in this region, revoking Article 370 and bifurcating the state of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territory, new map of India released where the complete Aksai Chin, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, being projected as part of union territory of Ladakh, are the reasons, and this road that has been constructed are the reasons that can be easily added as India showing a strong momentum towards this region in re-establishing Indian domain to it, and by default there will be retaliation that will be coming up from China. This is the road that I'm talking about. It's from Leh via Shayo to Murgo, and Murgo is proximate to Daulat Beg Old. We have also mobilized tourism in Pangong Tso, and environmentalists have been of the big concern. So standoff by default can also be correlated with India showing a strong political will to resolve out the challenges that are related. So whenever we take up the reference of the study of such type of topics from any of the contemporary sources, always try to integrate it with the past and futuristic perspective. We do have the legacy of the historical ground that justifies why there is a standoff between the two neighbors, but it certainly cannot be minimized with the fact that the attempt of sustaining this political divide in Eurasia or Asia is an important strategy that is being correlated with American interest, US interest. Because if the ambitious Chinese land front has to be developed, it will be only with more congenial relation between India and China. And if it is not that case, then what China has been showing for last few years, minimizing the dependency on US dominant and US controlled maritime link, is by default not going. Try to read this article with this support. Location once becomes clear, it is much more easier for you to handle this scenario. If you are preparing it from the optional perspective, there are several columns in this write-up which gives us the examples of 1962 that can easily be. That is it from my side for today. Goodbye. All the very best to all.